Yeah, if everyone could, I think I can mute everyone. I can mute everybody. There we go. Oh no, it didn't happen. There we go. I got it. I got you. Okay. And so before we start to reimagine life moving forward, we must do this vital work of self-reflection and be daring enough to do the risky work of looking inside and to notice where we ourselves have been out of alignment or even out of touch with ourselves, maybe with our families or our communities, and with the earth, with the world. And so that's what we're up to today, is to take it that next level of reflection, because if we want to create a new way moving forward, we've got to understand where we are, how we got here, and our part in all of that. And we do have a part in all of that. The great spiritual teaching is as above, so below, as within, so throughout. We're not separate, and we have a part and a piece in all of this. So it's humbling and it's hard. I mean, and also we have a piece in some of the good things too, but I think that right now what's really being shown to us, where we're really being asked to see, is where we've been out of step, so that we can come back into alignment and move forward in a different way. So that's what we're up to today. So if you want to have a pen and paper handy, have a pen and paper handy. But I think that the first thing that we do here is we'll move into meditation, and we'll establish, the steady ground of open, loving presence, so that we feel a little bit more safe to be curious about ourselves and about, the way that we've engaged with the world, within ourselves and all around us. So wherever you are, just take a moment to find a seat that feels really resonant for you. So it might be on the floor, on a chair, but one that feels right for you, where you can sit upright without force or without effort or strain, and remain alert and relaxed. Please allow your eyes to close, disentangling the gaze from the outside world, from all of the distraction, all of the information and the drama and the judgments. And just turn your gaze inside. Whatever this moment is for you, however it feels to turn inward like that, just let that be what that is. And just gently open yourself up to feel the touch of breath in your nose. Just feel that brush of breath, that brush of life in and out through your nostrils, through the nose. You don't have to do anything about the breath, just simply open yourself up to experience its touch through the nasal passage. Begin to expand your experience of the touch of the breath, the touch of life. To feel the breath come in through the nose, in and back, and then arc down through the belly of the throat. And then as you exhale, feel it move from the belly of the throat up and out through the nose. Expanding your experience of yourself and your life and this breath. Let that experience begin to expand a little bit more. Simply feel the breath travel in through the nose, down through the throat, and then to move and pull and spread through the heart space, through the chest. And as you exhale, sense the breath move up and out. Now continue in this way, simply experience the touch of breath through the nose, through the throat, as you inhale to spread and to pull into the space of the heart. And then as you exhale and the breath moves up and out, just allow your awareness to settle and land and soften in the space of the heart. So as you inhale, the breath moves in and down to pull through the heart. And as you exhale, simply allow your awareness to land and settle in the space of the heart, even as the breath moves up and out. Simply building presence in the heart space, the vast and steady ground that has the capacity to see and to hold it all. And if you feel that your sense of presence is really established and growing in the space of the heart, you can release sort of the attention on the breath and simply allow the fullness of your awareness to rest in your heart space. If at any time your attention begins to wander, use the breath to draw you back into the space of the heart. Simply establishing clear, open, loving presence here in the space of the heart that can see without judgment, can just see with clarity, compassion. Now into the space of the heart, invite a sense of curiosity. Just get curious as you ask. Where have I been out of alignment, out of touch with myself? Where have I been out of alignment or out of touch within myself? From a curious place of open, loving presence, perhaps you just sit with this contemplation in quiet and allow the insights to arise from the space of the heart. Maybe they arise in words or sensations or feelings. Or maybe you want to keep that inner focus, but open your eyes and journal a bit. If you find yourself getting caught up in judgment, please come back to the heart, come back to the breath in the heart, so you can rest in open, loving presence once again. Knowing that this is a contemplation that you can come back to time and again, and I hope that you do. Allow this contemplation to wrap up. Take your time to make your way back to the space of your heart, beyond the question. Perhaps once again, you feel the breath slide in through the nose, down through the heart, land and pull your awareness in the space of your heart. And as you exhale, just settle there. Just reestablishing presence in the heart space. Presence whose quality is inherently open and inherently compassionate. And once again, invite in the quality of curiosity into this place of deep acceptance. Just get curious about this question. Where have I been out of alignment or out of touch with my family or my loved ones? From a place of open, loving curiosity, where have I been out of touch or out of alignment within my family or my community of loved ones? And again, you can remain in quiet contemplation, or if it feels more appropriate to you to open your eyes and journal, feel free. And as you contemplate these things, either in quiet or on paper, really allow yourself to feel the cost of this misalignment, this disconnection. Don't bypass that. It's important information, this feeling of what it's cost you. And anytime you feel yourself caught up in the drama or the judgment, simply take a moment of rest with that contemplation and take heart once again. So you can really contemplate and reflect through the eyes of compassion. See through the eyes of the heart. Just a few more moments here. Just take a pause on that contemplation and come back to the space of the heart beyond contemplation. And allowing the inhale to help your awareness enter and spread in the heart space. And using the exhale to allow you to soften and settle there. If you get distracted, it's not a problem. Simply invite your attention back to the space of the heart and know that in that invitation back, in the forgetting and the moment of remembrance, you're getting a little stronger with your capacity for presence in the heart. From this place of truly unconditional love, open yourself up to curiosity once again. Curious about the question, where have I been out of alignment or out of touch with the earth, the great mama? Where have I been out of touch or out of alignment with the earth and all her creatures? Allow yourself to really feel the cost, the weight, the pain of that disconnection, the sadness. And again, perhaps you contemplate seated quietly in the space of your heart, or perhaps you open your eyes and journal a bit. How have my actions, my way of being and living contributed to the degradation of this earth? And if you find you're getting lost in judgment or drama or thought about the contemplation, take a pause with it and just rest back in your heart. Just a few more moments here. One more time, come back to the heart before our last contemplation. Allow the presence to build and to spread to pool in this heart that is wide enough to see and to hold and to heal all of this. Open yourself up one more time. Quiet curiosity. What has been the driving force or forces behind my disconnections? What has been the driving force or forces behind my misalignment, my disconnection? Whether you're contemplating it quietly or writing it through, allow yourself to really recognize and feel it, whatever it is for you. And again, if you feel lost in thought or judgment or distraction, rest for a moment and simply take heart and come back to the contemplation when you feel more spacious and open. What drives me to disconnect in these ways? Just a few more moments here. Again, you can come back to these contemplations again and again. But for now, just lay one hand over your heart and the other hand over that. And just hold what you've revealed here in your chest beneath the palms of your hands with such tenderness and care. With the graciousness of your love. And with a real tender accountability, responsibility, knowing that we, each and every one of us, have excused ourselves for far too long. But knowing that when we have the courage to turn inward like this and really see, and really hold these aspects of ourselves by the light of love and awareness. We do have the capacity to realign, to move through this world in a whole new way. I'd like to end this little contemplation with one of my favorite Nietzsche quotes. And he says that the great epics of our lives are the times that we have the courage enough to rebaptize our badness as the best in us. For knowing these truths that you hold here in your heart beneath the palms of your hands. For knowing these, we can start to redeem them, to integrate them, and to make them whole, to come into a whole new way of being on this earth with ourselves and with each other. From the recesses of your vast and unbound heart, you can allow your eyes to softly open. I'd like to thank you all so much for having the courage to go there and to do that and to feel that. These are the most sacred places, the places where we have found ourselves disconnected, out of touch, out of alignment. These are the places that we have the opportunity to grow. So I think we would like to open this up now. If anybody wants to wave, to share anything that came up for them throughout this exercise, we'd love to hear what you have to say. You can just, wave. I don't know if I can see everyone and if they're waving. Oh, I see.
You got to go to participants and you should be able to see if someone waves their hand.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Scroll through it for a sec.
Okay, I just got to scroll down. Okay, so if you guys have something that you would, go ahead, Ash.
I was just saying you can stretch the window out as well. So you can make it, you can see more people at one time, see if a hand raises. I can also help look for it. And if someone's hand raises, let you know.
Okay.
If I see it, I don't know if it just shows you or shows everyone.
I can stretch this out. Yeah, so let us know. There are Paul and Alice, yay. So, let us know what came up for you. Nothing, we're all perfectly in alignment. Okay, Amy Miller, okay. Let me unmute you, honey. Okay.
Hi.
There she is. Hi, honey.
Hi. Something that came up for me where I'm misaligned is doubt. And a lot of times I doubt myself. I doubt my decisions. I doubt if this is enough. Am I enough? And what came up was that this is coming from fear, and that this fear is fueling this doubt. And it reminded me when you kept reminding us to come back to our heart, to come back to my heart and to trust my heart. And I think that's something that arises a lot, that has been arising a lot, because so much going on. It's like this doubt of, you know, am I enough? Is what I'm doing enough? And it was just a beautiful reminder that if I come back to my heart, that that is enough. The love in my heart is enough. Thank you for that meditation.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing, Amy. I feel like you're really speaking to something that maybe all of us, I know you're speaking to something that I feel for sure. And I think that a lot of us do, the doubt and the fear. And I feel like this sense of not enough and doubting ourselves and questioning our hearts is part of what has gotten us to where we are in such a, you know, anxious and disconnected space. So thank you for naming that. I really feel like that's important, you know. Yeah. Who else? Okay, we got a couple of hands here. So we'll start at the top. We've got Sindri.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, let me unmute. Okay, you're unmuted. Okay, go for it, honey.
Well, so something I noticed when we went through like the first round asking where am I misaligned with myself, I've been kind of thinking about like my relationship with myself and different ways I can work on it, such as like my physical relationship with myself, my spiritual relationship with myself, my emotional relationship with myself, and so on. And I saw kind of some interesting through lines in the disconnect, like starting with that relationship with myself. Like I put some disconnect with like my spiritual relationship with myself and my physical relationship with myself, and then kind of how I saw that manifesting in different ways. Like my spiritual relationship with myself gives me this like deep sense of connection to nature and to other people, to my kind of creativity and being able to channel that. And then again, that just kind of came through also in my, where have I been disconnected with family and community, kind of that sense of connection. So it kind of gave me a little something to, like a starting point to work on fixing that a little more with myself, and then looking at how that affects my relationships kind of moving outward too. And kind of the same with the physical. I found some through lines and all that I thought was interesting.
I think that it's really important that you just named that too, about how there's a, like you said, this through line, there's this thread from within to then out into our families, to then out into our communities, to how we walk on this earth. Like that's the thing. And when we can be with ourselves and come into alignment with ourselves, and even back to what Amy was saying, come back into our hearts and, you know, being able to align in that way, it affects the way that we, you know, walk on this earth with each other. I mean, that's really pretty amazing. So I really appreciate you naming that through line. That was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. And then we have Trey. Where is Trey? I can't see Trey, but we're here. Let me unmute you. There you go, honey. Oh, I think, nope, not unmuted.
Can you hear me?
There you are.
Awesome. So I would show a video. I just realized the back half of where I'm at is like
Ooh.
close.
Is anybody else having a hard time hearing him?
Yeah, you're not super loud, Trey.
Let me see if I can turn my volume up here. 1 second. I got all of this sound stuff set up in here as we are all working from home. Okay.
Can you hear him, Ashleigh?
I can hear him. He's saying he's trying to figure out
Oh.
his sound.
Okay.
Is this better?
Not really. You still just sound far away and very quiet.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, can I troubleshoot for a second and on to the next person? I'll raise my hand again in a
Yeah,
second.
we'll call on you. We'll let someone go and then we'll
Okay.
call.
We'll go to Marika and then we'll come back to you, Trey.
Hello?
Yeah, there's Marika. Great.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. What came up for me for the three first questions you asked was really comfort. Comfort is really what stopped me from feeling this deep connection, whether with myself, with my community, or with the earth. Um, and I really want to take this opportunity to thank you, Meg, to leading such a beautiful, deep meditation, because it makes me realize that it's not who I am. And by this, I mean my value is really more like courage and really giving advantage to the connection to my soul and what feeds and nurture my soul. And I know that in the past years, I've not focused on that enough. And that's why I've really let comfort take the step over my life, and I allowed that to happen because yes, I had some reasons why I understand why I did it, but it really made me realize through this meditation how important it is to be connected to our own soul, and that it's so easy to let comfort getting in the way, and then we forget about what is really important to our essence. And this is this deep sense of connection, whether with nature, with ourselves, or with our loved ones. So yeah, thank you so much, Meg, for this beautiful meditation.
Thank you, Marika, for sharing, honey. I think that you speak for all of us too, to some degree. I mean, everybody is, speaking from a really beautifully human level. I think that the truths that everybody's sharing right here just point to the base truths of humanity, and we are creatures of comfort. We like to feel comfortable and safety, but that can lead us to a place of complacency where the things that make life meaningful for us no longer have juice, have brightness, and become more complex. We can't find that joie de vivre in the little things and whatever, but tending, like you're saying, to the ground of your soul and nurturing that well, and how that might lead you on a path that isn't very comfortable. And I think that we can all probably say, I don't know how long everybody here has been on this kind of quest, but it's not the path of least resistance. I mean, we say this all the time, and it's not necessarily comfortable to ask these kinds of questions or to look at ourselves in the world in this way. But always we ask, is it worth it? So I think we have to look at the risk and the cost, and I think we're all here on this call because it is worth it. It is. Marika, I can't thank you enough for sharing, honey. Just wonderful. Thank you, love. Yeah. Now let's see if we can go back to Trey here, and let's see if we can unmute.
All right, is this better?
Oh, much better. Yes. Hi, Trey.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for that meditation and this weekly. It's so much information out there, and all you can do is take precaution. But coming back here, this is real, like the community. You know what I mean? I know this is where I can find a little bit of peace, a little bit of routine. And as far as alignment, me personally, in this space, I feel like I work in music, so going into many different studios and being an observer from this perspective where I am in life now, you deal with and balance so many egos. So actually having to be away from everybody and still trying to get work done, that's refreshing for me. And I feel myself aligning more in that way. And the world around us, like I said, the routine is so much information and so much craziness out there, but I still feel like not much has changed because everything that we create comes from the inside. And this is the time to be inside and figure out, okay, how am I going to make my imprint on the world from the inside when I go back out there? That's how I'm realigning. And then when I look outside from everybody being inside, Earth is really healing. I'm in LA and I can see a few more stars, not so many more stars, but a few more stars in the sky. I can see so many more trees in the distance in the skyline. So there is beauty in this, and hopefully I could drop that little bit of encouragement in here for everybody, because this group and these chats pour so much into me positively. So thank you.
Trey, thank you so much for sharing and figuring out the volume so that you could share. What you said was amazing. Everything we create comes from the inside. Like, I love that. That's what we're doing here. And I really appreciate you being part of this community and this conversation, and just everything that you just said. I really feel it too. The earth outside and behind my house and whatever, it just feels more at peace and quieter. And yeah, you can feel the earth healing at this time. So thank you for calling that out. I just really appreciate your perspective. Thank you. Let's see, I think Karen has her hand up here. So Karen, I'm gonna unmute you, love. I think. There you go. Are you here? There you are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar to everyone. There's so much I feel coming up. But the first thing that immediately came up, sometimes when I go into meditation, I hear these like words, or I, feel these words, and I know that if I'm not like really listening to it, they just become louder and louder until it starts screaming at me. And the thing that came up was, I don't want to live this life anymore. And it just kept on repeating and repeating in my head until I started crying. And so I decided to write a little bit about it. And, I live in New York, I live in Brooklyn, and it's been a while that I'm just amazed by just the rush here and the struggle, and the absence of nature is really bothering me. And I'm very happy that the earth is getting a break from us all, to be able to heal. And as I wrote just things down that were important, I don't know the life I want. I just know that this is a start. And I think, Meg, your meditation is so amazing to actually face those questions that bring up so much. And then I just want to read it, what I wrote when we went in to see the cause of our disconnection. I felt it's a disconnection from the source, from love, from the light, a disbelief in being deserving, in being worthy. And this causes me to think I always have to work hard, I always have to struggle, and that this is the way to feel worthy and deserving. Thank you. Thank you, Meg.
Karen, thank you. I think we're all there with you. Like, I don't want to live this life anymore. Not like this. Not like this. And I think that we can't. I think that we're all seeing, like, we just can't. We all, everyone's struggling so much with, the anxiety, the depression, the disconnection syndromes, and all of that kind of thing. And, I think that what you just named there, and what you wrote about deserving and worthiness, that really hits home for me too. And I think for a lot of us on here, I see a lot of heads shaking of, like, we have hung our sense of belonging and worthiness and deserving on, all of the stuff that we get done, and kind of almost this really uniquely made up world. It's really interesting. And I think just being able to sit in the place of not knowing, like you are right now, Karen, just going like, all right, I'm not like this anymore. I don't know like what yet, but not like this. And there's, you know, there's a huge practice. It's just called neti neti, and it's just not this, not this. And when we come to that place of I just know it's not this, all of a sudden we open up to the possibility of something else without having to define what that is. And so just being in that place of possibility and openness is really scary and vulnerable. But I think that that's the place that where a lot of us are finding ourselves in. I think it's a really powerful place. So thank you for sharing, honey. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. All right, and then I think we have, hold on, let me just see. I think we just have one more hand, so I think we can get to that. Hold on. Is that true? We just have, I think we just have Linda. Okay, so Linda, let's unmute you, honey. And why don't you share with us?
Hi, Meg.
Hi.
Thanks for doing this. It's so great. I've kind of been, like everybody else, probably on a roller coaster for the last how many weeks. And I really think I had some things that actually came up in this meditation actually came to me when I was waking this morning. And I kind of think it's nice how, for me, we actually yesterday here in Montana, the earth shook. We had a little earthquake and it was crazy. We've had them before, but it was kind of like the universe is saying, hey, you guys need to all wake up. And I'm kind of seeing that. I'm feeling that maybe what Trey said about pollution and all of those things. I think this is a really great break for the earth itself, because we're all having to stay in and do that. So maybe it's a little bit of healing, not only for us, but for the earth. And that's just, I think we all need this. We're all running around doing things, and now we're feeling that we really need each other. We don't just need ourselves, we need each other. So that's about all I had to say. That's just how I felt.
Wonderful. Thank you for articulating that. And yeah, I think, you know, before this contemplation, like you said, it was with you when you woke up. I think we're just all feeling it. And I don't know, I mean, I'm some of the things that I'm reading about the way that the earth is healing, not only just experiencing it, and like Trey said, a few more stars and whatever, some of the things that I'm reading about how the earth is healing is tremendous, because we all just stopped. You know, it's really amazing.
Well, I kind of feel like, I don't know, I really do feel there's a universe out there, and maybe it kept trying to tell us with like tornadoes and floods and all of these things, but we weren't getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And now the whole world is like, okay, this is it.
Yeah, we are ones that have to learn the hard lessons, right? Like, oh, didn't hear it this time, didn't hear it that time, maybe now. Yeah, I know, it's wild. Yeah, it was a pretty big earthquake there, wasn't it? 6.2 or something?
Actually, the earthquake was in Idaho in a place,
It was, okay.
And it was 6.8,
Okay.
and we're 200 and some miles away. And some wind chimes in my house started like making noise, and everything started moving, and it was like, wow.
We are being shaken awake, for sure, for sure. Oh, thank you so much, Linda, for sharing. I really, really appreciate your sharing and your being here like this. It's really wonderful.
Thank you again for doing this. It's so great to be in the community.
Oh, yeah, this community is just like no other. It's really amazing. And like you said, we need to be together, you know, like we're noticing like we need each other. And as a human species, we sure do. And so it's really great to have this community to lean into at these times and always, you know. So I want to be mindful of time. I know that it's 11:05. So I think we're done with all of the people who had raised their hands. Ash, I don't know if you want to wrap us up and finish this one out.
Thank you everyone for sharing. So good to be here with you. You know, Meg, I'm just feeling like, why don't you continue and just it feels, I don't really feel like I have to add more
Okay.
at the moment. You're holding such a beautiful space. So.
Well, and I don't think there's a lot to add to what you all said, and a lot to add to the contemplation. I just think that the last thing to add is love. You know, to just remember what everything that we unearthed and was revealed today, and just like through this whole process of, you know, the virus and all of the drama, and then the community and all that we've just gone through with the meditation and just all of it, to just know that it's not a problem. It doesn't make you bad. Like the Nietzsche quote I shared with you, you know, the great epics of our lives are the times that we have the courage enough to rebaptize our badness as the best in us. Because this is the way that we move forward. This is the way that we grow together. This is the way that we evolve as a community and come more into alignment with the earth by first looking at where we're disconnected. And so please don't use this as an opportunity to be back in the river of lack and not enough. Please use this as an opportunity to just love yourself and each other more, and this earth more. So let's just take one moment here. You can just interlace your hands and lay your palms flat on your chest. This is my go-to mudra when I feel like the world within and around me is unsteady. This is the mudra of trust. Right here over the space of the heart, the place of truly unconditional love. And just take a moment here. It only takes a moment to drop into the heart space, to drop back into a place of redemption, of capacity, of wholeness, of alignment and remembrance. It only takes one moment to remember how you are worthy of love and how you belong just as you are, without having to do one thing, and how you matter. So let's just take a few breaths here in the space of the heart together, but in silence. Noticing how building presence in our personal hearts brings us into connection with the universal heart, into connection with each other. In the heart of this earth, from this place of true love, allow your eyes to softly open. I can't thank you all enough for being who you are and being here. And so wonderful to hear your voices and see your faces and feel your presence. I just love you all so much. A beautiful day.